The Joe Rogan Experience.
You ever see Steven Seagal run? There's a couple. You ever see him run?
He runs very strange.
He's
very tall.
What's the first one he did? That's really good.
Above the Law.
Look at him. Look at how he runs. He runs like a fucking retard. Look at him. Look at him. Can you imagine?
He's just built odd. He's just really tall. He does run a little loose with the hands, which is kind of confusing.
Which one was this one? This is the second one.
That's Above the Law.
I think it's cutting all.
Oh, it's a bunch of different movies now because now he's got more hair.
Right, because people goof on him because of the way he runs. Bro, he was married to Kelly LeBrock, dog, at one time.
Dude, at one time, he was the man.
How many times did I jerk off to Kelly LeBrock and Woman in Red when Gene Wilder calls for her?
This is what it is. His steps are too short, and his wrists flip around. Because he's used to doing Aikido, right? He's used to, like, everything's
Joe, don't
like
protect
flowing.
him. Please, don't protect him with the Aikido
I'm just saying,
stuff.
that's what it is.
He runs like I have a fruitcake. Don't throw Aikido in there. Those Japanese people worked 3,000 years to put Aikido on the map, and now you're going to set them back. That poor Aikido school in Burbank has moved 8 times. They keep losing students. They're down to 2 students wearing a schmuck and a fucking sword. Who's going to go for Aikido lessons now?
Someone who doesn't really want to fight, and you want to be able to passively get someone away from you, which is not realistic.
But the sword part.
The sword part could come up if shit hits the fan. If we go back, and if we get knocked into the Stone Age from a nuclear war with Russia.
Why are you giving me this here beat? Now I need to join again. No.
You need to learn how to dodge sticks.
Yeah, they moved. They're in Burbank. And I've thought about, when I was a kid, I went to Aikido for about 2 weeks.
It's probably fun.
The guy's name was Richard Bowe. He was like supposed to be a big time in Guttenberg, New Jersey. Mm-hmm. And he taught all that deflection stuff. But Steven Seagal in Above the Law took it to a different level. That arm, that throat slam.
Oh, yeah.
He's got the deflection throat slam. That's fucking beautiful.
I had a meeting with a guy in a movie. There's this, like, my agent sent me in to meet with this guy. They were looking for someone to do like a Steven Seagal type movie. They were going to try to create an action star. And we actually had like a argument about this movie.
That move right there. But the best one,
pulls his throat out.
Yeah, that's when it got carried away. That's when he just went over the top.
Oh, that's hilarious.
But in the first movie, in Above the Law, and the one when he fucked up the Jamaicans.
Oh yeah, which one was that? With swords, they had sword fights.
And then Hard to Kill was when he. That's the one that pissed me off because whoa. You're in a coma for 4 years, and 2 days later you're throwing sidekicks.
Yeah, and he's putting like
needles
acupuncture needles all over himself. And he fixes himself.
Jesus Christ, Jesus Christ!
I loved it.
I know. I loved it too. The
thing about him, man, is I think in that first movie it was one of the more unique martial arts movies. Like Above the Law, it's almost a shame that he made a bunch of movies that weren't as good, because if you go back to Above the Law in terms of like martial arts history, and Above the Law is a legitimate historical movie in terms of martial arts movies, because it was the first movie where you got to see a real Aikido practitioner with a hybridized system of martial arts. Like he was doing Aikido, but he was also throwing a lot of punches and knife hand strikes and a lot of strikes. It wasn't
See if they showed the bodega scene and Above the Law.
But just play this out.
That's the best. Oh, all this out.
This guy, look, all the bullshit. I mean, I've made fun of him as much as anybody. But listen, his Aikido skills were very legit. He was very legit. Whether or not that stuff's real or not, that's a subject for debate. Whether or not it's really effective when you look at other things like wrestling and jiu-jitsu. Is it the most effective way to grapple? Or judo? Is it the most effective way? No, it's not. But no one knew that back then. And he, at the time, in the 1980s and 90s, was a world-class martial artist. He just had a style that ultimately didn't really prove to be the best style. But so did I. I was doing Taekwondo.
No. This is Hard to Kill.
A lot of people were doing Kung Fu. A lot of people were doing things that they thought were legit, but they really, once the UFC came around, we found out, oh, this is not the best way to do it.
Now, this is 87. There's a kid in this scene that was just in a movie with Clint Eastwood, The Mule. He's been doing movies for fucking 30 years. I can't. Right now, that dude with the tattoos, How many fucking movies has he been a bad guy in? Right there, the second guy.
That guy right there. Oh my God, that guy's in every fucking bad guy movie.
Every
He's
movie.
great. Who is he? What's his name?
He used to live in Vegas, I heard. He had a restaurant in Vegas. I'm not even sure.